So today I am going to do an unboxing and a teardown investigation of something called a G30 AV surround stereo or something to that name. I bought it off of Amazon, where else, and it came in this nondescript box. I should say that this is the second unit I've purchased. The first one came damaged. Now, I have, believe it or not, opened this up once already just to make sure that the unit is not broken, but I haven't really done much of anything other than just make sure that it's not broken. So, the tape somewhere here. Open it up. Simple plastic packaging. No foam whatsoever, just this cardboard. And you really hope that whatever is in here is sturdy enough to survive. Okay, so there we have, oh, let's take the plastic off. So there's plastic here. I don't think the plastic has any shock absorbing capabilities, and there's a remote there. You can see that. And at the back, well, let's look at the front first. So the front of the unit, very simple. Get something to point with here. So you can see we have bass and treble controls, some kind of an input, USB, micro SD slot, volume control, mode, scan, volume. This is as volume. I don't think this is the volume. There are no instructions that come with the unit, so we kind of have to figure it out for ourselves. No vents on the top, so probably doesn't need to be cooled much. And if we come around to the back, not a lot happening here. We've got spring terminals for the speakers, a 12-volt DC input, left and right inputs, an FM pigtail kind of antenna. That probably doesn't do too much. Very thin AC power cord. Of course, it doesn't need to be very heavy gauge. It's not really probably going to draw very much power. Let's see if we can figure out what the gauge is off of the insulation here. And I don't think it even has the gauge of wire on it, which is strange. I'll look some more. So I'm going to open this up and see what's inside. It looks like there are probably a couple of screws on the side, a couple on the back. I'm not going to make you watch me take the screws off. I'll take the screws off. So first things first, I've got the back off. There were, like I said, two screws at the back. The two screws at the back were slightly longer, but they're all sheet metal screws. Now, if we zoom in here, you can see there's basically just two boards and a lot of dead space in here. So this board here is the power supply board and probably the power amplification board. So that is the switch. This over here, if I move over, that's where the main electronics come in. Then one of these here is labeled DC out. So the board takes DC. I think this is the DC output, and it powers the board there. So that's probably like that other board. We'll look at that a little more in a minute. That's probably like a preamp and has the display electronics. where this one creates the DC power supply, and it also does the amplification. And so we can see that these two lines here are the right channel and the left channel outputs from the preamp board into what the amplifier section here on this other board. So this board is kind of doing double duty, creating some DC power and also doing the amplification. And you can see, we'll probably look these up a little later. GL30 power. And now if we tip this forward a little bit, I don't want to take the front panel off. I'll try to look up what the chips are if I can get a good shot of them. But this board is called a GL2630, and it looks like this particular one, not too hard to guess, it was probably manufactured 2019. There's not a lot happening here, pretty simple board. You know, some 50K pots there, you can kind of see. So bass, treble, volume controlled by some 50K pots. There's a display there, and the receiver, probably the infrared receiver right up beside the display, which is one of the reasons why when you look at it from the front it doesn't look like the display is centered. And then you can see a couple of other chips in there. So, you know, not a lot happening, right? Fairly simple. It's supposed to have, I don't know, something like 40 watts of output. So I'm going to see if I can find out the information on the ICs. But the next thing I'm going to do is close it up, and we can try it out and see if it does all the things it's supposed to. All right, so I've hooked the unit up to a pair of realistic Minimus 7 speakers that I have sitting here on the bench. I've reassembled the unit, and now let's power it up and see what happens. Okay, it's friendly. It says hi. Blue. So it's looking for Bluetooth. We'll try the Bluetooth out in a minute because I need a Bluetooth output. But let's
line in.
Well, line in.
Radio mode.
So it seems to have remembered a station that I tried out before. And so the scan mode looks for stations and seems to put them in some sort of non-volatile memory that it has. Probably not a really strong receiver. So here's some classical. Let's see if we can get this FM chord. Well, that's a bit of a better position for the FM chord. Let's see what happens if we turn up the volume a little. So the FM is maybe not the greatest, but that seems to work.
For the next couple
both speakers work, and you can get a pretty decent amount of sound out. will get loud enough.
Toronto's rock station, Q107. It's Dan Chen. If you look across the street,
Well,
the Hockey Hall of Fame, you're going to notice a new statue of a female hockey player. And this is for,
I guess
it's titled
the
The Game
controls
is
do
for
something.
All of us. Very
you can see the scan mode searches through the stations. And it'll record each station it finds under one of those P labels. It would probably be doing a little better if I was, maybe the antenna was a little better.
My father told me that growing up in Hussein.
And then of course we can adjust modes.
Line in. Radio mode.
So despite the buttons there being labeled volume minus and volume plus, it's station minus and station plus.
Congratulations to all of our shortlisted authors and frankly, all the authors out there.
All right. So the next thing to do will be to try out the Bluetooth and see how well the Bluetooth pairing works. Let's see if we can figure that out in the next minute or two. Okay, now let's see what happens when we try to pair the Bluetooth here. So we'll turn it on. This is high. Bluetooth. Now I've got an iPhone. On the iPhone, you see here there's a G30 BT speaker, so I'm going to pick that.
Bluetooth connected.
So now it seems happy. There's Bluetooth connected. Now, song started to play. So go to music here. That's a small pair of speakers, but as pretty well. So I like that. Radio works okay. Capability on the FM radio, maybe a better antenna. I'll have to investigate whether or not, I mean, certainly the antenna is, there's a connection for the antenna, so it'd be easy enough to replace the antenna with something maybe a little more robust. See if I can find out a little bit of information about the chipset in here. The one thing, so there's a couple of things I haven't kind of looked into. Haven't really shown you how the remote works. So you can't change the volume from the remote. You can sort of maybe change tracks from the Bluetooth. Oh no, you can change the volume from the remote. I wonder how that works. Let's see how that works. Let's start this playing again. like a little protector tab there. Okay. Oh, actually, that does something. Minus did something anyways. So on minus, I've got it down to the bottom there. Well, that's a help. Okay, well, plus isn't doing much. Okay. Okay, so I was able to make the volume go down to nothing. But can't seem to make the volume go back up. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so I guess those, the volume plus and minus buttons do something in Bluetooth mode. You can sort of, through Bluetooth, adjust what tracks you're on. Okay. You can make the volume go down. This remote is a little sucky. I want to make the volume go back up. Can't change the mode. Maybe not the best remote in the world. I was excited for a minute. Well, we have a remote. It can make the volume go down, but it can't make the volume go up, which is a little bit of a loss there. Well, that's pretty disappointing. So you can always come back here. I wonder if there's a special trick to this remote. Let's see if we can pause. Okay. We can pause. Playing is not such a... Oh, there we go. Still can't make the volume go up. The volume is maxed. Make the volume go down. Okay. Nope. Something definitely amiss there with the remote. Pause. Play and pause work. Next track. Previous track. So some of these things work. Just not all of them. All right, so we've tested Bluetooth, we've tested the radio, but this does have an aux input. So I figured, let's find out what happens. It'd be complete to not try out the aux input. So let's go to line in.
Line in.
Let's. I've got a cheesy old portable CD player here. Let's see what happens. That is pretty good, considering that we've got 5-inch speakers and okay, maybe more than 5 inches, but barely. Just a pair of small speakers here, and $36 Canadian tuner amplifier. So I think that I'm pretty happy with that. You can see the connections in the back there. I mean, for something I'm planning to put in my garage to listen to music when I'm working in the outdoor shop, that's pretty decent. So, all in all, I have to say that the radio, well, this reception probably affected by the fact I'm in the basement. The Bluetooth, decent. It's Bluetooth after all. And the line-in mode, well, I don't think you can get too much better than that. I mean, this isn't an audiophile box after all. And the only complaint I have is the fact that this remote doesn't quite function fully. Now, I guess I could send it back, but the remote was more than I was even looking for. Not really. Yeah, throw the remote away. But all in all, for 35 bucks, 36 bucks, I'm pretty happy with that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the review. Subscribe to my channel if you don't mind, and we'll have some more reviews in the future.